Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to present you today a small insight into the British history. I know that it's not a very massively popular topic, however, I will try to make it interesting for you so that you won't be bored. I will try to look at it from a different angle. So, let's start from the beginning because the clock is ticking. So, the Stone Age. I think you can all imagine living in Britain during the Stone Age. There are woods everywhere, there are stones everywhere, and not very much people everywhere. So, the only thing you can do is hunt for some game, eat it, and then lie down with your belly full of meat. So, you will get bored after a while. What you can do? Play with stones. So you put some big stone like this, then you put some big stone like this, then you ask some friends and you put another big stone this up, and after a while there is something like this that is standing in the middle of woods. And later on the people will call it Stonehenge, and it will be one of the biggest, let's say, monuments of Britain. Nobody knows what it was built for. However, I can pretty imagine that it was because people were bored. After the Stone Age, there is kind of a couple of years, like 2000, where nothing happened really. But then, just around the year 0, the Romans came here to Britain and decided that they want these stones to be there. So they kind of invaded the Britain, and they let the people, the Celts in that time, flee away to the Scotland. The Romans were, however, very afraid of them, so they built some walls to protect themselves, and because the civilization of Roman Empire was quite high in that time, they built also some big spas like Bath today. However, the Roman Empire suddenly broke down after a couple of hundreds of years, and for the next period of 700 years there is almost nothing that we know about Britain, and this period is called the Dark Ages. During the Dark Ages we only know that there were two main tribes living here in Britain, and that were the Angles and the Saxons. So when they were together, they were the Anglo-Saxons. And however, the Anglo-Saxons had serious problem with other nations, or let's say nations around them, and generally with the Vikings. And the Vikings were mostly from Norway, there were Norwegians, and from Normandy, the Normans. So everything came to a breaking point in the year 1066, and I want you all to remember it, because the year 1066 is kind of crucial time during the English history, when the Norwegians attacked Britain from the north, and the Normans attacked Britain from the south at the same time. The British king, or the Anglo-Saxon king Harold, wanted to defend themselves, so he marched to the north, he defeated the Norwegians, and then he decided to march to the south again to defeat the Normans. However, the march was quite hard, he spent like 3 months marching, and the army was quite exhausted, so when they reached the shore, the south shore of Britain, it was the town of Hastings, they weren't really fit and lost the battle. So the Normans invaded the Britain, they were successful, they conquered it, so their leader, the William, was then called William the Conqueror. After that time, I think we can also mention a very interesting fact, that from this time we have some heritage in the English language. I guess you don't know what I'm talking about, so I will explain it to you. For example, the Normans who invaded the Britain were sooner were soon considered to be the high class in the society. And the Anglo-Saxons were the lower class, so they served the Normans. So all the meals that were served to Normans are called similarly to French, because the Normans spoke French. So, for example, if you speak about meat, you get beef, you get pork, you get lamb, things like that. On the other hand, the animals that were in contact with the Anglo-Saxons have different names. You get cow, pig, sheep, and not very similar to the meat. So the names of the animals come from Anglo-Saxon language, however the names of the meals come from French language. Take for example the omelette. Nevertheless, after this little food part, let's move on. There were another lot of kings that changed, and because Normans were also the kings of big part of France, there were also a big struggle in between the France and the Britain, called as the 100 Years' War, and also the other wars, like the Wars of Roses, which means the two houses of high-class society that wanted to fight each other for the influence and for the power. In the end, came after like the Tudors. Nevertheless, because the time is hurrying, I shall say only that after this time there were a lot of other kings. Some of them were strict and severe, some of them were funny, some of them were kind of different, and some of them weren't even peoples. But when the people weren't really happy with the people, with the kings, they sometimes did the thing that they like beheaded them. So, I know that this manner comes generally from France, but English people invented it. Nevertheless, thank you for your attention. I guess that you know the rest, and please remember the date 1066, Battle of Hastings.